100,000 costume people tripping. It was Oz, Hollywood, and Mars. Boys were burning draft cards all across the country. They were burning ROTC buildings and armories. We were getting busted, bail out, and beaten. But it didn't matter. Not to me. There were some pretty scary things, too. There really was CIA and FBI people all around San Francisco. There were some pretty ugly things, too. Speed was heavy. A lot of people were getting sick and going crazy. Some people shouldn't take acid. I guess not young kids in a bad environment. And drugs were becoming big business, too. People killed each other in Haight-Ashbury. I mean, young, turned-on people were killing each other over drug money. And we hear these stories that in New York they're having what they call speed wars, where speed freaks would turn paranoid and literally shoot each other out of windows over speed. I didn't like how the social structure was building up. But there was the Pentagon March. It wasn't like the newsreels or anything. I mean, the crowds were a lot bigger than they said, and the percentage of violence was a lot smaller. It just seemed like some of the boys were into running at the steps again and again and getting beaten. And some of the soldiers, young boys, were into running around among our tents and grabbing girls and clubbing them. A month afterwards, Bobby just sat in a corner, shivering and muttering to himself. We were used to the ones we loved freaking out a lot. It was part of putting no restrictions on each other. And we just loved.
What kept me sane all this time was something I'd do when I was alone. I'd bathe slowly in bad oil, scented bad oil. And then I'd wash and condition and dry my hair and get it all fluffy and lovely. And then I'd dust myself dry with perfume, dusting powder. And I'd do my nails, hand and foot. And I'd polish them with a lovely, subtle, clear polish. And then I'd dress myself slowly. In these things that I never ever wore anywhere else. Underwear, lingerie that was all pink and black lace, and stockings of silk. Not nylon at all, but silk. Dark and seamless, very expensive. And a gown that looked heavy with glitter but was actually lovely and light and clean. These elegant little black silk pumps, and a single little diamond, a real one on a platinum chain, and then a boa that I'd gone crazy for and worked extra shifts at the Metropole to get, a huge, downy, soft white number that folded me like a cloud. And I'd stand before the mirror and remind myself of just what it was I wanted to do. The heart as big as the known world, the moon softly growing to fullness within me. My great dark eyes like the sable southwestern sky, my flesh like the petals of tender little flowers, my lips dark, precious, unique. The black rose. People were complaining that you couldn't tell one of the girls in the movies from another one anymore. They all looked alike. Ursula Andress, one robe. And you started hearing talk about how studios were doing it deliberately, and how after the trouble they had with Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, Kim Novak, all of them, they didn't want any more movie stars. No more crazy actresses to demand huge salaries. They didn't care which woman they used. Nobody cared. Because all the audiences wanted was one Supergirl after another. The miniskirt mattered more than the girl that James Bond didn't care who he fucked because they were all alive. And I guess that's the way they felt about them.
They made Kamala